You're not confused because you don't understand them. You're confused because part of you already knows the truth, and you're afraid to admit it. Real interest doesn't leave you anxious at night, rereading messages, questioning your worth. It doesn't make you feel small, replaceable, or uncertain about where you stand. When someone truly cares, their actions bring peace, not panic. And the hardest lesson, if you have to guess, the answer is already showing itself, quietly, consistently, without words. Tonight we're breaking the illusion, not to hurt you, but to free you. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear may change how you see people forever. Comment your location below and let me know where you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel for more truth that protects your heart. Let's start by removing the illusion that confusion is a normal part of attraction. It isn't. Confusion is not chemistry, mystery, or emotional depth. Confusion is the mind's response to inconsistency. When someone is genuinely interested, their behavior stabilizes. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but predictably. And predictability in this context is not boredom, it's emotional safety. The nervous system doesn't relax around people who are unsure about us. It stays alert, scanning for meaning, trying to decode silence, tone, timing. That constant guessing is not passion. It's your intuition reacting to unstable signals. Here's the psychological truth most people resist. People do what they care about without needing motivation. Interest doesn't require pressure, reminders, or clever strategies. It expresses itself through repetition, through showing up again and again in small, unglamorous ways. If someone values you, you'll see it in how often they reach out, how reliably they follow through, how naturally they make space for you in their life. Not when it's convenient, not when they're lonely, but consistently across time and circumstances. Inconsistency creates hope and anxiety at the same time, and that's why it's so addictive. One good moment convinces you to excuse 10 confusing ones. But consistency is different. It removes the emotional roller coaster entirely. You don't need to interpret tone. You don't wonder where you stand. You don't feel like you're asking for too much just by wanting clarity. The human brain craves patterns. When patterns are stable, trust forms. When they're erratic, attachment becomes insecure. This isn't romantic theory. It's behavioral science. People often say, they like me. They're just bad at expressing it. But interest doesn't hide behind personality flaws for months. Even introverted, guarded, or emotionally cautious people reveal what matters to them through action. They adjust, they make effort, they close the distance instead of expanding it. When someone's behavior keeps you in a state of waiting, uncertainty, or self-doubt, that behavior is the message. Silence, delays, mixed signals, these aren't neutral. They are information. Philosophically, this comes down to self-respect. When you accept inconsistency, you teach others that access to you doesn't require intention. But when you recognize patterns instead of promises, you reclaim your power. You stop chasing potential and start responding to reality. And reality is always honest, even when people are not. So here's the reflection I want to leave you with. If someone's behavior brings clarity, stay present. If it brings confusion, step back. Your peace is not something to negotiate. It's something to protect. Once consistency is present, the next truth reveals itself quietly, often before anyone is brave enough to name it. Emotional investment always comes before verbal commitment. People feel first, then speak, and long before someone says they care, you can see it in how they show up emotionally. Not through grand gestures, but through attention. Attention is the purest currency of interest, because it requires presence, and presence cannot be automated or faked for long. When someone is emotionally invested, they don't just hear you. They listen for meaning. They remember what you said weeks ago and bring it back without being prompted. They ask questions that move beyond surface, level facts and into your values, your experiences, the way you see the world. This isn't curiosity for entertainment, it's curiosity for connection. Psychologically, this signals cognitive and emotional allocation. They are giving you mental space, and mental space is limited. We make room only for what matters. Emotional investment also shows in responsiveness, not speed, but quality. A person who cares doesn't treat communication as a transaction. They respond with intention. They engage. They follow emotional threads instead of dropping them. Even in busy moments, there is a sense of continuity, a feeling that you remain on their radar. You don't feel like you're restarting the connection every time you talk. That continuity creates emotional safety because it tells you you're not being temporarily accessed. You're being considered. There's also a subtle but powerful shift in how they react to your emotional state. When someone is invested, your mood matters to them. Your stress isn't an inconvenience, it registers. Your happiness isn't ignored, it's amplified. This doesn't mean they become responsible for your emotions, but it does mean they're aware of them. Philosophically, this reflects recognition. To emotionally invest in someone is to acknowledge their inner world as real and significant, not secondary to your own. Many people mistake charm for investment, but charm seeks reaction, investment seeks understanding. A charming person wants to be liked, an emotionally invested person wants to know you, and there's a clear difference in how that feels. One excites you briefly, the other grounds you, one leaves you questioning, the other leaves you calm. Here's where clarity replaces hope. If someone keeps the connection light, avoids emotional depth, or engages only when it benefits them, that's not hidden affection. It's limited capacity or limited intention. Emotional investment expands over time, it deepens. It doesn't hover indefinitely at the surface. So, reflect on this. Pay attention not to what someone says they feel, but to how much emotional space they give you in their life. Where attention goes, intention follows, and once you see that clearly, you stop settling for words when what you deserve is presence. Now that we've explored consistency and emotional investment, the final truth becomes unavoidable. Respect is the clearest signal of genuine interest. It's one thing for someone to show up repeatedly, to listen deeply, to invest emotionally. But without respect, none of that means what you think it does. Respect is not just polite words or occasional kindness. It's how someone honors your time, your boundaries, and your dignity, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet, unshakable proof that you matter to them. Respect is subtle, but unmistakable. It's in how someone treats your opinions. Do they hear them and consider them, or do they dismiss them because it doesn't serve their narrative? It's in how they communicate during disagreement. Do they argue to belittle or to understand? Do they adjust their approach when they see discomfort, or do they push forward for their own satisfaction? It's in how they handle your absence or your needs. Do they honor your space, or do they pressure you into their schedule, their convenience, their comfort? These behaviors reveal intention far more reliably than any words of affection ever could. Psychologically, respect forms the foundation of trust. When someone respects you, your nervous system relaxes. You feel seen, safe, and valued. Without it, even consistent behavior and emotional investment can be destabilized, because disrespect undercuts the sense of security that allows connection to flourish. That's why you can sometimes feel anxious around someone who seems interested, but lacks true respect. Your body knows the difference before your mind can even articulate it. Respect is the measure that translates silent cues into certainty. Philosophically, respect is a reflection of morality and integrity. To genuinely value another person is to acknowledge them as an autonomous being, worthy of consideration and care. It is an ethical stance, a conscious decision to treat another human as a priority rather than an option. When respect is present, uncertainty disappears. You don't have to guess their intentions because their actions are aligned with your worth. Every interaction becomes a signal that can be trusted. Many people overlook this because it seems less dramatic than passion or chemistry. But attraction without respect is unstable. Passion fades, words fade. Only respect sustains long-term clarity. And the truth is, someone who truly values you will respect not just your presence but your absence, not just your agreement but your boundaries. This is the sign that never lies because it operates independently of ego, convenience, or circumstance. So here's the reflection I want you to carry. If you see respect, stay present. If you don't, step back. Your peace, your clarity, and your self-worth are not negotiable. They are non-negotiable truths that filter out illusion from reality. Respect is the compass that guides you away from confusion and toward people whose interest is genuine, whose care is real, and whose actions never leave you guessing. In the end, clarity begins and ends with respect.